Welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News. We're coming in hot tonight.
We apologize in advance.
Right. Got to thank our marketing partners. Let's see. Let me get over. I'm on the chip tonight because I just came running in. Let's see. We got to thank. Let's go backwards this time. We got to thank Performance Plus Motor Oil.
We don't really have to, but you can.
I mean, well, they help me out a lot. Safety Clean. Even MPM Marketing, they've helped me some.
Well, they helped me a little bit too, but that's okay.
Got to thank Tanya McAllister, Black Acid Racing Imperial. If you need one shirt, 50 shirts. Factory Canopies, they give us this nice chairs. I mean, they have all kinds of stuff for your pit crew. Chairs, big tent, customized tent for your car, 10 by 20, 10 by 10, however you want. Langley Speedway for allowing us to do the show here. Pepsi, me and Jack would go thirsty if it wasn't for them. Bondrich Brothers Distillery. GAC, Great American Company. Call Before You Dig, NC811, Call Before You Dig. Food is Papa John's. And let's see. Presented by Smith Wraps and Graphics. I thank those guys for coming on board the last year or two. And last but not least, Mayhem Management. How'd you come up with Mayhem? Are you a little on the wild side?
Look at her. And look at some of the.
Should I ask him? I mean,
Look at some of them posts she's put. And let me tell you something. I did not know she was a TikTok. She
phenomenon.
She is huge on TikTok.
Have you never met my child?
He's cute as a button. I mean,
His nickname is Mayhem.
Is it really?
Yeah. From day one.
Is she more popular than Hunter Waltrip?
No, she ain't got Hunter Waltrip yet, but I'm gonna tell you what, some of her TikToks are really good. I did not know it until I ran into one today. And
we gotta get Jack to make a TikTok post. You think
you should do a dance off with Riley music.
No.
That I'm telling you, that would go viral.
Yeah.
I think we'd also let's all start voting for that. Let's get.
You thought the Ricky Smoot thing was good. Give me an idea. Let me run with it.
She came over that all on her own, Jack.
Do you have this problem at home?
That's why I stay at work.
I mean, she's got this thing, every time I turn around, she's talking good
What's
about
up, Eddie? What's up, Gary?
So, I mean, I'm just kind of,
I feel like I don't talk good about Scott.
well, maybe I just took it wrong. I don't know.
Maybe that's what he was hoping.
All right, I ain't gonna go. We're just gonna let that go and just
Tell us what happened over the weekend, Jack.
Thank you.
What happened over the weekend?
Good news.
Some people got to race.
Oh,
Dominion didn't get to race. Poor guy here wanted to race so bad he couldn't race. All right, up at Michigan this past weekend in the Cup Series, Kevin Hartwig got the win.
I didn't see that coming for Kevin. I mean, I know he runs okay there. I wouldn't say he runs. I would have thought, what's the flat track that he
runs good at Phoenix too.
Phoenix. I thought that would have been the track for him. But, you can never count that team out because they seem to thrive on these situations where it's a do or die.
He just flat drove away from him at the end of that race. So
Yeah.
It wasn't no.
And
Give me.
we're at 15 winners. I don't know. We've hit this close.
We got 3 races left.
It's very possible.
Richmond this weekend. Then you got Watkins Glen and Daytona. You got 2 races there, kind of like a wild card. So you could get another winner there, and then you'd have 16. So don't know what's going to happen there.
I know. I mean, it just put Truex out, right?
Truex is out, and Blaney. Both of them were right on there the last 2.
And everybody else is kind of far behind. So I think it's between them for that last spot. So it's going to be, and Blaney could win. Although of course, Kevin hasn't really run well enough to say that he can win, but Truex could do it anytime. I mean, the Toyotas have been decent. They just haven't had any luck.
Where did the Fords come from this weekend? I mean, everything when they come out of the box Friday
I think they started using tape on the front like this.
We put it on the other side. Though.
Right.
Hey, Spanky. I haven't seen
Special
Spanky
tape.
in a while. All right, in the Xfinity Series, Ty Gibbs got the win, and he also got a top 10 in the Cup race. That
And I don't know if anybody listened to the Dale Jr. Well, not the Dale Jr. Where Hamlin was on door bumper clear. Have you
I
listened
haven't
to
heard
it?
that.
No. And Denny kind of talked on the subject about ties. A couple years ago, you would want to run in the Xfinity Series because it wasn't a huge difference. Now it's completely different. The cars are completely different. The longer you wait to go to Cup, the further you put yourself behind. So I'm not going to be surprised that he could be in a Cup car next year. And with the sponsorship deal,
I was going to say,
very possible that
Somebody's out.
Kyle might not be there next year. That's a very possibility. And then he kind of said that. He's like, it's very possible because we're so, and he kind of touched on the professional model, sports team model that they have at NASCAR. They're sponsorship driven. If LeBron James wanted more money, even if they had a sponsor or not, they would still re-sign him. But you can't do that in NASCAR. It's all very sponsorship dependent.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting. Somebody's out. We don't know who it's going to be. And I understand there's somebody out other than Amarola over at SHR too. So that's two.
I mean, you have that, and then you have what's going to happen at Childress with Tyler Reddick, because if you pay attention to what Childress said the last week, or I think week before last, he made the comment like Tyler was not going to be there next year, and then he had to correct himself. So I'm not sure if he is going to be there, if he's not going to be there, and then where does that leave Denny and his team? Are they just going to run 3 cars? I understand they're looking to do 3 cars, but at the last minute to put a third car together is a difficult.
We got to wait and see what happens to Kurt first. I mean, Kurt's still out. I understand he's having a lot of issues with this concussion he's got. I talked to somebody the other day and said he's really, really,
struggling.
He's having hard times with it, and looks like it's not going to be even this week he can get back in the car. It's a possibility, but they say they don't think he's getting back this week either. So
it's gonna be like Newman. I mean, he didn't have that bad of a wreck as Newman did, but they don't mess around with that concussion protocol at all.
Well, I mean,
not anymore. They don't.
Well,
yeah, right.
But normally you get a driver that'll be one of those gung ho guys that says, I'm good, and he'll be standing there going like this the whole time. But I'm good, and somehow he manages to get back in the car. And like Dale Jr. did that time, he said he wasn't completely straight, and he got back in.
Yeah,
So-
but I think things are so much different now. Some doctors probably has to sign off on it, where before, and we had kind of heard that with Casey Kane. I mean, we know the backstory to it. We don't know what he had going on, but
Yeah.
there was a reason he didn't get back in the car his last little stint because a doctor would not sign off on it.
Yeah.
He needed a doctor's
So,
note, and
You
they would not
still
release
got that in. That's blowing in the breeze too. So you don't know what's going to happen.
So where does Kyle go? I mean, obviously, I don't think there's any big money out there that's dangling.
My opinion,
Mhm.
my opinion on it, he's going to Stewart Haas next year.
I would think so. I mean, I think he'd be a good fit at
They keep saying
Childress's, but I don't think they get along.
no. I don't think Childress. I don't think he is a fit for Childress
They would.
because next thing you know, Childress
He'd
would
be
probably end up
didn't he take
beating.
his watch off, try to beat him up?
Yeah.
hold my Rolex.
So that's not even a fit there at all.
I
But,
think he'll be at
but
Stewart.
Tony Stewart's let it be known
Mm-hmm.
if the opportunity's there, he would like to have it.
And I think it'd be a great fit, honestly.
Well, I think it's be a great fit for him because they may figure out what's going on with their cars because they're not really
Mm-hmm.
they're not been that competitive
Yeah.
until this weekend. So,
Right.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, they've won a race, or 2 races. They won one race. This will be their second race. The 41. No, and both of the rookies or both of the young guys won.
I think Custer and Briscoe have won races.
Yeah, I know
this year.
Briscoe won. You should have
both
won 2.
Can we take a second to think about Kyle Busch and Kevin Hartwig being teammates?
10 years ago, that would never happen. But today, I mean, I think they get along well. I think they're in different parts of their life.
Crazy
I mean, he's
things
done made the
happen.
comment that he wouldn't mind having him. And the way I understand, Kevin has a lot of
Say so.
Yeah.
yes of what goes on over there. I mean, they think, and of course, he's very opinionated.
All right, in the ARCA series this past weekend, Nick Sanchez got the win. Our buddy Raja is going to be at Richmond. They got 42 trucks entered this week at Richmond.
Oh, really?
For 36.
Is he, for the same team? Is he going to be?
Yeah, he's going to for Spire Motorsports.
Okay.
So he's going to be there.
And then we got a few kids.
Nick Leitz is going to be there with Rayoum, Josh Rayoum's race team. He's going to be there. So that's going to be a big deal there. Down at Montgomery Speedway, they had their big pro late model race down there. Jake Garcia got the win. Gio Ruggiero finished second, and Brittany Zamora finished third. At Hickory, the Cars Tour ran on Friday night, which was the late model stock car version of the Cars Tour. Some kid named Connor Hall got the win. And then the next day,
he has done a lot better than I think some people expected him to do in that Cars Tour and stuff. And that was two different cars. That wasn't the same car that they ran both of them.
So in the Carolina Pro Late Model Series on Saturday, he won again. And in the limited late models, Mike Bumgardner got the win. At Bowman Gray in the modifieds, Burt Myers won. Up at Oswego, in the sportsman division, Garrett Zacharias won his heat, won the race. And he can talk trash now because there was a lot of people talking trash about him the last few weeks. Yeah. So at Wake County, late model race number 1 was won by Clay Jones. Late model race number 2, Ethan Johnson. Down at Dixieland Speedway, the East Coast 2-barrel carburetor championship, whatever they call that division, William Milliken got the win.
The East Coast 2-barrel.
Whatever they call that.
And then the day after that, the car fell on him when he was working on it.
Damn, did he get hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt. And they had to fly him back home from wherever they were at. They had to fly him home.
Damn.
So, in the sportsman division at Dixieland, Jay Perry got the win. In the 4 cylinders, Michael Wells got the win. Down at North Wilkesboro, we're going to have both of these. We're going to have some of these guys on the race on the show tonight. That's raced in this race. Day 1 of the North Wilkesboro races down there, Ryan Newman won the tour type modifieds. And the 602 crate late models or modifieds, Paulie Hartwig won. Paulie Hartwig the third, 11 years old.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Day 2, tour type modifieds, Matt Hirschman got another win. And Paulie Hartwig won again the next day in the crate modifieds. So that's he's going to be with us. Paulie Hartman's going to be with us in a little while. We're going to talk with him.
11 years old.
11 years old.
I can't imagine. I didn't even know how to wipe my butt at 11.
That was way too much damn information right there.
I'm shocked that we are this far in the show and we're just now getting back to where we started at.
Full circle.
Here at Langley Speedway, late model race number 1, Brendan Queen. Late model race number 2, Brendan Queen. So that's 2 wins. I think, 7 wins for the year?
He is on fire.
Yeah.
And I guess Riley made his late model debut.
2 top 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Was there
A
7
7th and an
cars?
Huh? No.
No, that's when you race.
Thanks for coming, Erin.
Yeah. He's the only man I know of gets voted driver of the week, finishes 5th in a 4-car race.
Hey,
I don't know.
this ain't what the stats say.
In the Pro 6s, Travis Wall got the win. No Scott Allen he wasn't even in the race this week. Where were you at this week, Scott?
Hanging out. Just hanging out.
You
I know. I feel like
watching? Were you watching, trying to learn?
No.
Did you even come to the track?
No. I know. I feel like I haven't even been here early this year.
Oh, well. In the Super Streets, race number 1, Gordon Weeks. The Super Trucks, Hunter Waltrip. Super Street race number 2, Jimmy Atkins. The U-Carts, Cody Bryant. And the Champ Carts, David Phelps. That's 4 wins for Cody Bryant in 2 weeks in 3 different divisions.
And you got to get, I got to give a shout out to Hunter. I mean, to beat the 8 truck, set on the pole, and win the race, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
That is,
Even though he is a better comedian than he is a driver. I mean, I keep preaching that. But
I don't know. Them TikToks are getting serious now. People getting into
That's
them
why I say
things.
he's funnier than he is a race car driver. He's much
No,
better.
Chris Bechtel's coming up. He's been pretty funny here the last little bit on his.
Funny?
Yeah.
Chris?
Some crazy stuff.
Tough crowd.
He's got some, and of course we have the real TikTok.
No.
I started to take a recording of the TikTok and put it on here so we could show part of it tonight, but I said, no, I won't do that.
Let's not do that.
You ready? You want me to hit the button, Jack? For her TikTok.
No, I didn't.
That was his attempt at being funny.
All right, this week's driver of the week, Connor Paul got the driver of the week this week.
It will deserve. I mean,
Yeah, 2 wins Friday and Saturday. He must deserve it.
Not too shabby for a washed up driver.
Wanna
I thought it was bad.
Connor will appreciate that. It's okay.
okay.
He's got a dry sense of humor.
With
You know, I never
everybody
knew.
but me.
I never knew how funny Connor Hall was until this Cars Tour this year. Some of my favorite memories of this race season so far is just Connor after the race.
One of my favorite memories of him was after one of the races too, but I ain't gonna say a whole lot about it.
What
Anyway,
happens when you start trouble?
Andrew said his TikToks are funny. Which ones are those?
Andrew, you may be funny, but you ain't got nothing on the rest of these folks. Ain't nothing there. All right, I want to put a shout out to
It's
Robert
dinner
Kane.
time.
Robert Kane had heart surgery Monday. Talked to the family yesterday. He came through the surgery fine. Everything was good. Did not have to. They were thinking dialysis was going to be part of the thing afterwards because of the shutdown. Everything had to be shut down, but that didn't have to happen.
That's good.
So then I talked to her again today, and he is alert, awake. He says he's got a little sick feeling, but from what I understand, he's talking trash and ready to go. So, so he'll have to
That's what we
do.
like to hear.
But I told him he's going to do like I did, just sit down and shut up for a little while, let somebody else deal with it.
And drink water.
Oh,
Do what?
And drink water.
Just because it's blue doesn't mean it's
just helpful tips.
I held you in such high regard.
I'm gonna go and move that bar for you.
Now you're right back down here with the rest of us.
And we also want to wish Paige Kane a happy birthday. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday from Rodney and everybody. And us. Happy birthday. All right. Now, let's get to the meat of the situation here. We've got Erin Goodman, Mayhem Management. Did not know Mayhem was for the child. I did not know that until she said it just a few minutes ago. I thought
Apple probably doesn't fall far from the
I
tree,
thought it
though.
was something
Cool.
he gave the nickname to her, and that's the way it was. But
No.
because I can see where that would be Mayhem. But anyway,
And he would be the manager of Mayhem.
okay. So I know you got a lot of things you want to tell us. So
We got a lot going
we're going
on.
to, and also let it be known, she's also our new graphic design thing. I'm getting a lot.
I don't think anybody could tell.
Yeah, no difference. Not obvious at all. That sucks.
So anyway, I was going to say that, but I bet you did. But no, I've gotten a lot of compliments with it. But the question I
think
keep,
we could do it ourselves.
the
No,
question,
not we. You couldn't do it. They knew you didn't do
They knew
it.
he couldn't do it either.
He can't even push the button right.
So I've been a lot of compliments on what we're doing with that, and and everybody, the same thing comes up every time. We know damn good and well Scott ain't doing it.
Who's doing it? Tell us.
It's me.
So anyway, and I don't know if we're going to say anything about this now or wait till later on, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway.
Oh boy.
Scott's getting ready to go out and have some more surgery.
We're kicking them out.
I was going to say, damn,
He's
I'm
got-
getting closer to the end of the table.
He's got brain surgery scheduled for. He's got that scheduled for sometime
I
next
got a
month.
tick.
And we have a new co-host that's going to fill in for him while he's gone. And it's our graphic designer is going to fill in for him.
Yeah.
So If the
bar's real high.
Yeah.
if the
real
views,
high.
So don't trip on it when you.
Yeah.
if the views go way up, you might as well go and tell them work on the other side of that ring. So anyway, all right.
Poor Scott.
So anyway,
Yeah.
we're on you now. We'll let you say what you got to say because you got a lot of information I understand you want to pass on.
Yeah. So it's Kelly Godovic and I have issued the ultimate statement to Rick and let him know that we're not really pleased with the results that are coming out of the 64 camp right now. Kelly issued last race
She's the car owner, right?
that she's the boss. And she issued that she did have Ricky Smoot's bail bondsman on speed dial. And if Rick couldn't get the job done, then she would make a call. I don't know if y'all remember that race, but Rick didn't quite get the job done. Had a great night, but didn't get the job done. So we're still trying to finalize some plans, but we think Ricky Smoot may be back sooner than later.
Godovic's out.
It's
Looking that way.
So I
looking like
guess,
Kyle Busch out.
so I guess when I made that statement that time, he didn't like that I made. Godovic,
I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't think Godovic liked the statement I made.
No, he didn't. That you said he caught lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, when he won that first race, I said everybody catches lightning in a bottle sometimes, and he did not like that.
that wasn't very nice.
Huh?
That wasn't very nice.
Well, at that point in time, I thought it was a joke, but I understand it really ticked him off. I just add him to. I had to say it.
The long list.
Yeah. Eddie Clark says the surgery must be minor surgery on your brain.
Oh, I see Kyle Fowler sucking up in the comment section.
Is he the problem, kids?
He is the problem kid.
Yeah.
Yes. Fowler, happy birthday, Fowler. I hope your day is as special as you are.
Sounded a little sarcastic.
Lord have mercy.
Look, I give him a hard time, but I also come through for him. He called me at maybe like 10 o'clock this morning to let me know that he had something that came up. It was an opportunity. He needed hero cards. I said, okay, I'll work on that. Now, mind you, I'm at work because I've now gone on full time at ComServe. Oh, I need them before Thursday. The event's Thursday.
Jesus Christ.
He ain't asking for much, is he?
Yep, but they're done and they're in his hands to get printed, and he has his hero card to sign. So he's a pain in my butt, but he's a client.
So now I know who I can call when we say we need some.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need some when they do the stop.
By Saturday.
No, I
You
didn't.
might want to call Chase. He just called me.
So anyway, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
So Fowler distracted that one. So then we will hop over to the Snap Mobile world where Rick and I have worked extremely hard on rebranding this, and it's something that in all of this time that I've been doing behind the scenes for months that I'm kind of figuring out that some people don't know what it is or don't understand it. And the big difference is with our sponsorship program, we give you the abilities, we give you all of the tools to market and to promote. What? Chase. I hate Chase.
You want to see if you'd answer on the live show.
I was going to, but he just hung up. We could have had a Chaseboro exclusive.
No.
But so with Snap Mobile, we give you the social media content. We design everything for you. We are going to provide our drivers with hero cards and all of that. And the beautiful thing is we pretty much set you up to what other sponsors want to see. They want to see you promoting that brand and advertising them and bringing them new customers. It's a two-way street. It's not just them writing a check to you and a sticker on a race car. They want more than that. And that's something that some drivers still don't quite understand. And I think we have a very different model for a sponsorship, whereas we're giving you the tools to promote our brand and you get paid off of it each month. Whereas most sponsorships, you get a check one time and
That's it.
That's it. So you have the ability to control that. And now, I'm on full time with ComServe, so I'm fully managing the Snap Mobile program. We have a great team in place. You can upgrade your phone, get a new phone, get accessories, and not even have to step foot in the store. You fill out a form online, and one of our customer service reps call you and do everything and can just ship it right to you. It can't get easier than that. And it gives fans the ability to support their driver. And
Yeah, because I need a new phone too, so I'm getting rid of it.
I know a girl.
You do?
I've got about 15 drivers that will throw their codes out. Did Holly
I was going to say, how many drivers do you have on the Snap Mobile program?
We've got Matt Carter, Rick Adovic. We've got Edwards Racing Enterprises, which Chase Burrow is piloting their late model for them in the Cars Tour. We got Riley Rondeo, Kyle Fowler, Full Court Fuller when he's in his cart, Kyle and Esther, which they've got some news to share.
Nick Smith.
Quick Nick. So
Holly wants to know, do you hold Kyle's umbrella?
no. Umbrella holding is not a service that I offer. Chase is the only lucky one to have ever had an umbrella held for him. That's it.
So we know who the favorite is.
It's not Chase. It's not Chase. Chase is like that little brother that I never wanted, but I'm glad that I have.
I got some places I could go with this, but I'll leave it alone.
So, in other exciting news, y'all have been bugging K&M about coming to race Langley, and we are finally going to bring the number 18 Snap Mobile Virginia Racer to Langley on September 3rd.
All right.
So it is locked in. We are coming. We are excited. Kyle's been doing really good. He's been putting in a lot of work. I think his worst qualifying in the last month is 4th.
Mhm.
So the guy's been working hard. They've got that car dialed in. We just found out this afternoon that we raced this weekend at Dominion. So it's going to be a busy few weeks, but we got a fast car. And
We'd like to get you on the show before the race.
he's
I
sitting
got my
there.
spokesperson.
Mayhem Management represents him too.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's kind of, that's not a good deal if you represent him too.
Someone's got to keep him out of trouble.
Okay. Hello, Danny Millard. So, anything else going on big?
I mean, I'm sure there's something. We've got the Erie guys heading back down to Ace this weekend. You'll have Chase in the late model and the 8B. You'll have Rusty Skews in the pro late model and the number 8. So Chris Edwards is a busy man these days, but he's preparing the 8 machines.
He can handle. He's pretty hyper.
How many races have Rusty been in this year? Rusty hadn't been in a lot of races. has
He ran at Hickory.
I was going to say, I think it's 3.
He ran at Hickory. Their race didn't get rained out. So he did run at Hickory, and then he raced before and got caught up in somebody else's mess. But they've gotten it fixed up, and I did talk to Chris this morning, and he said that he's got the machines ready and ready to go down. Chase took over the Rookie of the Year points lead this past weekend, so
When is their race at Wilkesboro?
I think it's coming up.
Yeah.
Holly,
I know Chase is going.
yeah. So they've got
I think it's the end of the month.
Yeah, I think it is the end of the month. Because
27th or something.
that's when everybody's going down there for the whole weekend. I mean, it's going to be some big racing going on down there. I think
I think they're already sold out.
Butterbean's going down.
Mhm.
Connor Hall's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's going to be big.
August 31st.
Okay, 31st. So I heard it was great down there when the modifieds were there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
Sold
looked like
out.
it.
Sold
It was
out.
really good to see.
I know. I was wondering if Newman had ran there before.
Yes.
He did. Okay.
Yes.
I was wondering.
He's run there before, and Jeff Hammond said it was so good to see everything like it was. He told me that he did not expect it to be this big a deal when they opened it back up. But it's pretty interesting how. And then I think they got the dirt coming at the end of the next month. They got the dirt races
Yeah,
going to
when
be
they
there.
tear the asphalt up, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun to
Yeah.
when they
I
get
wonder
it
what
back.
the future it is. I've not heard any permanent future plans. I mean, obviously they're going to do something.
Yeah, they are going to do something. I think it's going to be asphalt, from what I'm hearing. So anyway, so how does somebody like Scott get on the Snap Mobile program? Oh, you got to be a good race car driver, right? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Well, I can send you an application. I reviewed them, but I think we could work something out.
You are so
I
now.
think
You
we could
reviews
work something out.
I think I got an email from you. I think, or somebody, not too long ago.
Oh, that's cool because it was definitely me, and I definitely didn't get an email back. So that's cool.
No, I'm a little ADD.
Don't say.
I think you need to do race shows too.
I actually had a band reach out to me yesterday about wanting me to manage them. And so I'm very thankful that I'm having the success that I'm having. And I've got a lot of really great people in my corner and supporting me. I mean, Brandon puts up with a lot. I'm always working. I'm always on the go, and I'm always juggling a lot of different things. And I take it all serious. And so, but I was talking to Buckaroos today and kind of just touching base on everything. And you just kind of get tired of talking about a problem and not doing something to fix the problem. And, I kept hearing and seeing every single race season drivers complaining about sponsors or not being seen or anything like that. And the solution's at your fingertips. You can do it, but it's like Buck was talking about last race, like you can't do it all.
No.
And if you can, you're not doing it all very well. And so what I do is I give my drivers the ability they just got to worry about their car. They got to worry about strapping in and going to work and doing their job, and the rest of it's taken care of. And, my modified drivers, I think I've been at the track twice for their races. I'm typically at Dominion when they race, and we just work really well together. We are one big team, and what happens on the racetrack, they all understand I'm not a part of. I want y'all all to finish 1, 2, 3. Y'all sort out who's 1, who's 2, who's 3. And it's pretty proud that we've got 2 of our modified drivers contending for a championship this year. So, and that's another thing. I don't care who wins it. I just want it to be a 1-2.
Unless it's Rick Godova, who y'all are already trying to kick out of the car. So
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's Rick Godova or Ricky Smoot. Snap Mobile still gets the championship.
Yeah. And then I think I think for young kids come along, I don't think they know the importance of the social media side of the business. I mean, and if you get in the Cup Garage or Xfinity or a truck, I mean, for the last 10 years, they've had a full-time person.
Yeah.
That's all they do is social. And some of them, I mean, some people are fortunate to go into the Cup Garage. There's some people that have 2 or 3 social media people, full-time jobs. That's all they do all weekend from Thursday night to Sunday night or Saturday or Monday or whatever the case is.
It's a lot of work, and that's, some people see the cost of it and think that it's way too much money, and it's an investment for sure, but what they don't realize is it's a daily job, and I'm constantly working, researching. Social media channels are constantly changing. Sponsors are wanting different things. They're having different promotions, different goals, and you've got to factor in everything. And then you've got to factor in when conflict happens at the track, or you have a bad night at the track, or, whatever.
Why did you point your hand at me when you said you have a bad night at the racetrack?
Just have it. Just have it.
You and bad night at the racetrack.
It just goes together.
Perfect.
So it's a lot of moving pieces, and just gotta
and-
roll with the punches.
Right, because I mean, it used to, the sport did so well. Everybody wanted to put their name on a car.
Yeah.
We're at a different time now, and those sponsors have to get a return on their investment.
Right.
And you really have to work hard to make sure.
It's a partnership, and it's the big thing is it's got to be a two-way street, and they want to feel like they're getting something, not just a sticker on a race car. And
Yes.
we are in a very social media driven time now where everything's on Facebook, everything's on Instagram and Snapchat, and that's where companies are spending their marketing dollars, and that's where they're investing to grow. And everyone has a brand influencer, and everyone has a promo code, and that's what works now. And so that brings us to Snap Mobile and what we're doing, and just putting it in people's hands.
Well, we appreciate it, but we love our graphic designer. I call her, she gets it. I text her, she gets it right back to me. So
Quality service every time.
exactly right, exactly right.
We're your ace in graphic design.
And they're really cool too. I like those. I like the ones that the video type like we had this week. I like that. That was cool.
That was fancy. That was fancy.
It doesn't take much to excite.
Hey, it did. I was really
Impressive.
tickled. I sent that thing out 5 or 6 times.
Noted.
Anyway, well, we appreciate you coming out and giving us all the update on Snap Mobile and everything.
Everything. There's a lot
And
of
thank you
different
for what
things.
you do. We appreciate it. Don't get
Being nice because you're gonna
look.
choke me
Don't
on the
get
way
too
out.
comfortable in my seat next month.
It's my seat now. You're out.
Oh, I need to talk
Why
about.
are you grinning?
I need to talk about a new graphic design on something. So we'll talk later.
Okay.
I'm
Well, you're gonna have
scared.
to reach out to me because we're going to dinner.
Oh, okay. Have fun.
See ya.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Oh, good Lord.
All right.
You want some pizza?
I had dinner already.
All right. We got Jake Kennedy with us. And I tell you what, I really, I'm all joking aside, we do a lot of joking here, but all joking aside, I really do appreciate what y'all did for me that day.
Jack said that was the longest kiss he ever got.
Why are you playing along with him?
I do this for a living. Right place, wrong time, I guess. Wrong time, wrong place.
Something like that.
But I mean, what was that? It was me and Paul standing there, and
Were y'all
there
that
you go.
close?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he literally bounced. I went, "What are you?" Oh, like me and Paul looked at each other like in a split
Is he
second.
playing,
We're like,
or-
"What's taking a nap or no?" But no, I mean, it just happened that I was standing right there, and we've been walking around all day that day. I mean, we all kind of venture around as much as we can to kind of watch everybody as best we can. But just so happened everybody was right there when we needed to. When you
I'll
went
tell you
down.
what.
Well, I think we need to start with a little bit of background. So you're on the safety team here,
Yes,
right?
yes, I am.
And how long have you been here?
Going on 12 years now.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did
Which
you
is
do
a
before?
good thing that you don't know that I've been here for that long. Most people that know who we are probably met us in a way that they don't really want to. I've never met you on the track. I mean, there were a
Thank
few
goodness.
times walking up to you, but most of the people who
You
know us
haven't
know
missed
us.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah, but-
I'll leave that one there.
Now, well, I say most, every one of you guys
Mhm.
are affiliated with some kind of
Some kind of
fire department or
absolutely.
something. Or
Yep. Every single one of us have been doing this for a very long time. I started the fire service in general when I was 18 years old, and I'm 36 now, so there hasn't been much of a gap in fire service there, and everybody else on the team is just as experienced. And this is probably one of the best teams I've ever worked for in my whole fire service career. This team working together. I mean, I know you're probably not, or you don't hear us talking or see us really. You just watch us from up here on the track. But biggest thing is communication. When we get on that track, 90% of the time we don't even talk. The group of guys and gal that we have now work so well together. Everybody knows where they need to go without even talking. And there's been numerous times where we've had a serious accident, and you stop afterwards and go, okay, well, everybody's been checked out. We haven't said a word to each other, or we're possibly transporting somebody or taking care of somebody. Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Because we're all, to our own horn, we are that good.
Mhm.
Well,
we
it
just-
was amazing to me. The group that you were there, Paul was there. I forget the other guy's name. I had it wrote down, and he couldn't be here. But all y'all were right there, and nobody flinched. Nobody got rung up except me. And I was a little rung up there for a
Yeah,
second.
you bounced for a second. You looked up at me. I don't think you knew.
Well,
That little short time frame.
It's all my fault. It's all my fault. I should have drank water more that day because I knew it was hot.
Mhm.
But I was up and down pit road out there, and everybody kept offering me water, and I kept saying, "I get it, man. I'm going up in the booth anyway. I ain't gonna worry about it right now."
Mhm.
Well, that was a mistake. But when my wife called me while I was walking down pit road, and she said I was making no sense. She did not know what the heck I was.
She
talking
thought that was a normal day.
Yeah, evidently.
Because she wasn't concerned.
Evidently,
afterwards.
she wasn't bad. Wasn't thinking about it. She left, and she went on shopping or whatever she was doing. But yeah, I was, I hit the ground. There wasn't no doubt about it.
Nope, there was no doubt.
So is it difficult when, because obviously we're all friends, and maybe we all don't know who you guys are, and I think I could speak for everybody here at the racetrack. We appreciate what you guys do. Does it make it difficult when you get to know some of these people and then you have to go to the car after them?
Every day.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you develop a relationship with some of these drivers. I mean, just because some of them know who we are doesn't mean that they were either a patient of ours or we had to help them out in any way. Just sometimes we develop a relationship with some of these guys, and absolutely, it's hard afterwards. During, it's just another person.
The training comes
Absolutely,
in,
yeah. And I noticed that a lot and that's why, like I said before, this team is the best team I've had the opportunity to work for. And from top to bottom, we're all, that's the best team I've ever worked for, because you go and you work. You don't stop. You just keep going.
How much time do you and the team work on certain things that you may cross here? Do you all do any training things?
We try to do. I'm sure with the team that we have, we'd be out here every single week if we could. But because we all work for all these different departments all over the place, whether volunteer, but you have a full-time job, or you're a full-time fireman, like a lot of our team is, the coordination of it is extremely difficult. But
how many do we have here?
last count was somewhere, I think Justin said 18 the other day.
Okay.
I think we have a few that have had some that might be moving away. I'm not sure the exact number at the moment, but we've got a pretty solid team. You know, we've got a lot of old heads that keep coming back every year.
And then when you said you guys were walking around kind of checking on everybody, what are you guys looking for?
Just signs of heat stress, signs of anything, really. I mean, it doesn't have to be the heat that really gets to people. It just could be they're having a bad day physically. I mean,
well, with the Hampton Heat, y'all had 2 or 3 guys, 2 or 3 people passed out during that weekend, didn't they? 8?
Wow.
But
I will say one thing. There's a very big difference from last year's Hampton Heat to this year. I'm proud of the drivers and their crews for hydrating, because those guys were good. It was the ones
sitting up here,
in the metal bleachers that were a different story.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about the fan side of it.
Yep.
So
we take care of them too.
So do you keep so many people on this side of the fence?
Yeah, we have a cart that goes out there, our outside safety, and they're in a little golf cart and roam around the outside of here. Especially like while the races are going, you have obviously what you see in there, but we also have people on the outside too, whether that be 1 or possibly 2 people on the cart.
Now, how many people's here on a Saturday night?
At the most, we could have 4, 7 at the most. But again, there goes with conflict of scheduling.
Sure, yeah.
I'll take some of my leave just to be here. I mean, that's only because of her, really, because
she's always here.
She's the one that introduced me to the track coming out here.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was born and raised in California, so.
What part?
Los Angeles area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was out in Laguna Beach a couple of weeks ago.
But yeah, I was at Wacky Wednesdays back in 2000. What?
I want to probably got there first on Saturday night. We watched the City Falcon Grey Gophers.
There you go. She's my brain.
We're
That is
both
right.
long-term married. We understand. We know.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that I've been talking to Justin about it, and Justin and I were discussing, he is so proud of this group here,
He's part of it.
and he's so proud of
Yeah,
it.
he really
He
is.
absolutely
And he
is part
thinks
of it.
he
Yeah.
thinks hey,
I mean, he said that for the last couple of years.
long as that group's here, things are going to be good. But I know there have been times,
Mhm.
there have been some times here with wrecks
Mhm.
and other things that you just kind of, the emotion of, I mean, probably not at the time you're
No.
doing it, but when it's
Afterwards,
all said and done, you sit back and you think about it for a second, the emotion has to kick in and say, oh,
I mean, it's part of the job, and I think the harder part is that, like you were saying, some of these guys are our friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So turning it back on later on is not really an option until later on. But I mean, you're dealing with firemen or EMS personnel that have been doing this for a minimum of 10 years or more. It's just the majority of the team, and it's just
There's some things you
part
can't
of the-
unsee.
yeah. I mean, it's part of the job though.
Yeah.
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 that's, I wouldn't want, I mean, I was
Gotta
in
do.
I was in the rescue squad and everything in Southampton County for years, and one incident took me out. That I said, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not cut out for this. And
You could be doing it 20, 25 years and have that one time that
well, I had mine very early because
it happens.
it was a friend of mine basically, and I said, this is not for me because I can't be coming up on something and I know who they are, and
Yeah.
that would.
So what brung you to the East Coast?
Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was active duty for 5 years, about 5.5 years. So it's on the Enterprise for the whole time,
Okay.
the majority of the time, I should say. But and then I met her and stayed and couldn't pay me to go back. I'm good. I'm good out here. But yeah, we that was a fun day though for you though, because once we got done, not even done, you were still being treated, and and we had another issue, thermal event
Yeah.
that we always call.
Oh yeah.
The bus.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, we got over to that one, and you see a little bit of smoke because Chuck Ed was the one that ended up calling us over there, and you see a little bit of smoke. You get up under there, and it was going pretty good.
They took,
Oh yeah, it was
they
going
took me
pretty
out
good.
on the golf cart. We went out the gate like that. Chuck was coming across there, and he just threw his hands up.
There's a fire out here.
It was that same deal. When we're on the track, we don't even talk, we just go. And we heard Chuck and what was going on, and he told us something, and we all looked out there. We looked at Kurt, who was taking care of Kurt that was taking care
Yeah, I
of
think,
you?
yeah.
Kurt that was taking care of you, and we're like, good, all right, and we run. All of us just took off, and we had the safety truck right behind us with the extinguishers and everything, and they said we just get up and go.
I'm gonna tell you what, I greatly appreciate everything you guys do. Especially that day, I had a whole new appreciation for everything that day, and
Yeah.
I mean there was not. I mean they didn't leave no stone unturned there with me, and
Those guys are good. That's
Right. I mean, you don't realize those things until you're in one of those moments.
absolutely.
Until you get hurt or something, and then you're like, man, I'm so thankful that those guys are here. Probably before they're like, we don't need them here.
Right. That's,
Well,
and
we
that's
get it. We
fine.
don't, you know.
We're fine with that. As we're here just in case.
But it's also got to be pretty gratifying too when you help somebody out, like
Oh,
Jack or something
absolutely.
like that somebody gets hurt or in a difficult situation and you're able to help them out of that.
As best we can. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, I can't work with a better group of people on this one or at the track. Plus, I get to watch the races at the same time. So
So then she brought you to a race, and how long from there till you started working on the safety team?
I would have been itching the day that I got here for it, but it was what, a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, because you went through the volunteer academy first.
That's right. Yeah. So it was not long. It was not long before I got on the team because it was just something I needed to be a part of, and I'm glad I did.
Was this the first time you've been to a racetrack? Or?
Circle track, yes. I've been to a couple drag strips out in California before, like early high school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Was never really into that. I mean, I didn't go enough to really appreciate it or understand it, but
Mhm.
until we were coming here almost
Now
every week.
You're hooked now.
Oh yeah, hooked enough to buy a car, but can't afford it. So,
But you're not by yourself.
yeah. Well, she wouldn't let me either. So yeah, see that look right there?
I seen the
Yeah,
look. I seen the
I
look.
felt it before I went over there.
Before you even looked.
Yeah,
There's a lot of wind coming.
it was. Yeah.
It's kind of scary there.
I get one first.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, do you guys come out on Wacky Wednesdays?
No,
No.
we did a while ago. It's kind of what pushed it even further. Well, the safety team does. I mean, obviously we sit over in turn two.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
I've done a few here and there. We got a couple of guys that really enjoy that part of the racing, so they kind of sign up for that more often than anybody else. But I mean, it's not I don't dislike it. It's just
Mhm.
spend a lot of time at the firehouse, and my try and spend the most amount of time I can with the family and everything.
So what's the full-time job?
I work at a federal firefighter,
Okay.
Navy region. I work at Norfolk Naval Shipyard over in Portsmouth.
Okay, yeah.
At the fire station there.
My son-in-law was over there.
Yeah, we got a couple guys I've seen over there. Who Mr. Lyon was over there. He just since retired. I don't see him wandering around there anymore. Dash works there.
Dash is over there now.
Mhm.
Ryan.
The drift guy.
Club.
Yeah, the drift club.
So you live on that side of the water, or you?
I live in Newport News.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's a decent little commute, but it's worth it. I like working over there. It's definitely a challenge.
I mean, even if you're working with Justin, I mean, it's still fun.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's fun because I like to make fun of him. He's my favorite to make fun of.
Well, he's easy.
Yeah. I make fun
You
of
gotta
him
be
a lot.
tactful with him though.
Just don't never call him by a name
What name is that, Jack?
I can't call it on here. I'll tell him that
Yeah,
later.
tell me later.
He's gonna need
You
that.
do it on here. That's
Oh no, I
what
definitely don't need ammo for him.
yeah,
I mean that too. You meet the part of this team. You just our group of friends just kind of grew into track friends. Now we're family. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
It's quick that how fast it actually moved into that.
Yeah, and it's like, the harder time you give each other, that's pretty much just how much you care, how much you like each other,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. From the outside in, you would think that we all hated each other, like, completely despised each other, can't stand each other. But
been there. I've been there.
it seems like you do that once a week at least.
It is.
We had somebody that sent me an email or a text message or something. This has been a while back.
I mean, from like out in the middle of this
I mean, yeah, it was
country.
out. They've been watching from out, I don't know, Missouri, Kansas,
Yeah,
somewhere out there.
Mhm.
And he sent me an email. And he says, "Do you and Scott really like each other, or do you despise each other that much?"
They thought we like
Yeah.
really just
He's like,
hated each
no, I
other.
hate him. It's fun with it. Give him a heads up though, like, hey, this is what we're doing. Yeah. You gotta really play fun with that.
I do that with other people. I don't know who that guy was.
I got you.
I-
That makes sense.
But
Perfect stranger on you.
yeah, well, I've got to be on my best behavior here coming next month. We're gonna have a new co-host, so
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna be running right back at you too.
Now, what
Yes.
would be your opinion for somebody who's getting a brain surgery like Scott, and is going to be, he's going to be trying to get back in a race car? Do you tell him not to get back in a race car? I mean, he's not been successful at it so far. So
Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but if you have a doctor's note that we don't need to see any of that. It's completely up to you. There have been times where, weren't you in the last wreck? And you're right. Okay, fine. We don't tell people if they can get in the car or can't get in the car. That is 100% up to
well,
everybody.
take it like this though. If he did hit his head, there's not a whole lot of damage can be done there. So you're in good shape there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Just
true.
like when Jack hit his head on the asphalt over here the other week.
No, he caught himself. He
Oh,
did
did he?
his head. Yeah, he kind of did the little teeter totter thing. Yeah, that was good. I mean,
Somebody that had that on
enough
video.
sense to not flatten out, because I've seen that happen a lot where just straight down. I mean, we had a guy here, Hampton Heat week, and he definitely took a ride because he went face first instead of what you did, gracefully fall.
I don't know if it was great.
I don't know if it was either. All I remember is that you were on the ground and me and Paul looked at each other like, whoa.
Yeah, I was on the ground. No, I don't
Yeah.
remember being graceful. Tell you the truth, I really don't remember a whole lot about it when I went
Yeah,
down.
Yeah, when I sat you up, there was you had to take a minute before y'all came, or the color came back to you. But by that time, everybody was there.
So what happens at a heat stroke, something like that? Is it? I mean,
Could be multiple things. I mean, for his case, it was more than likely just dehydration. All the water in your body just kind of left, and your body said, "Okay, I have no more sugar. I have no insulin. I have nothing to work with. All my fuel is gone. Time to go down. Time to shut down and protect the vitals."
how is it better to drink like Gatorades, or is it just water is the best thing?
No, if you do, my personal opinion, again, we'll go back to, I'm not a doctor, but my personal opinion is if you have to do if you want Gatorade because of the taste, 1 Gatorade, 2 waters behind it.
Okay.
Just because your body does need the sugar, your body does need the electrolytes and everything, but the water helps with everything. And what I've been using a lot is the Pedialyte packs,
Mm-hmm.
the little berry electrolyte sport packs.
Mm-hmm.
I take those things all the time. Those are.
Now, do you guys keep those in the trucks?
There's probably some in there now, yeah, because Jodi actually bought a bunch of them when we brought them down to the truck, and there's a couple of them in there. But I take those all the time. It's just easier for me. I mean, the day of the Hampton Heat, I can't tell you how many. I probably went through 2 boxes of those.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 in a box.
Yeah, I know we buy some for the team or have a few of, and they're actually, I mean, the ones that are already mixed and stuff, and they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, some of them aren't bad at all. I mean, you think of the Pedialyte, it's like it's probably gonna taste weird because it's for babies. No, that stuff is. I mean, if you saw me on Hampton Heat night, I was running all over the place. And
Yeah, because you went by me 3 or 4 times. I'm sitting down with Doc Love.
that's right, it
You
did.
went by-
Yep.
I kept thinking, what's going on? Everybody was running that way. But I learned my lesson. So Hampton Heat night, I went down there. I came up here, stayed up here. Then it was time for me to go down with him.
Yep.
I went down with him and made sure we were in the shade.
You weren't going to have a 2-peat.
And then when he finished up there, I turned around and he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Back up to the air conditioning. That's where I'm going." So anyway, man, I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
I really do. You guys are probably, if not the best around. I've heard so many wonderful things. I got to experience part of it.
Firsthand.
So,
Firsthand.
but I thank you so much. Tell the other guys. I wanted all of them to come if I could get them. But I know how
the only one
scheduling is.
crazy enough to come.
Well, I hit him first.
I got my my personal filter with me, so that if I start getting too carried away, then
But I made sure.
Should tighten you up.
I made sure I got with him first, and because if I'm remembering straight, you were the first person I saw.
Yep.
So I said, well, we'll get him first.
then get the
He
rest.
deserves it.
And I've been trying to get
That's-
Paul to come on, but I ain't heard nothing from him. So I guess he didn't care whether I've got good or not. I've been,
He knows you're.
Kurt's watching.
Kurt is.
Yeah.
Where you at, Kurt?
but I'm gonna keep trying hard to get everybody over here,
Yeah.
and because I think being a part of Langley Speedway, you all need to have some recognition for what you guys do, because a lot of people do not know. And it's like I've been telling Justin, a lot of people here work here. Nobody knows what's going on.
Right.
Nobody
Oh,
knows
yeah.
who they are or what they're doing. And we like
100%.
to bring them out and give them
Because
a little bit.
every one person here at the racetrack is just as important as the other one.
So,
That was a hard one there too. I'm glad he's doing better.
Kyle.
Danny,
Oh, 100.
Davey, sorry.
Yeah, Davey was my spotter.
Yeah, he was. That was another a call that was just straight autopilot, and every one of us just went. And after everything done and over with, we all just kind of stopped, and obviously everybody says a little prayer to themselves, and hopefully everything works out. And glad it looks like he's getting better and better every day from what we can see.
Yeah, and it was great to see him at the banquet.
Yeah, and he came out here the other night too, and that was I didn't see
Cool
him,
to
but
see.
Yeah, see, I get the credit for it, Kurt. You could be here too. You're probably just right across the road there, aren't you? Was he over? Yeah, he's over. Oh, is it 3? Where's he at? Is it 3?
all right. Well, Kurt, I want you on here soon, so you know.
Yeah, he's the one that made you feel better. I just picked you up.
Yeah, he did do that because he handed me that water and
Yep.
pricked my finger, and I'm
Mhm.
sitting there going, okay, well, I don't know what that's supposed to do, but anyway, and got that done, and he sat there with me. He said, and I told him, and I don't know if you remember, Christine came out there and told me, I'm driving you home. Christine kept yelling in the ambulance.
We were over at the bus.
Oh, that's where you were going over.
Yeah.
She was yelling in the ambulance. I'm going to drive you home. I'm going to drive you home. I said, no, you're not. I'm going home on my own. The guy said, you sure you want to try to drive on your own?
Good luck with that. Not listening to Chris.
It doesn't work out for
But
Justin
she
too well.
gave me a hard time. But I went when they moved the ambulance back over. I rode over there with them when they moved the ambulance back, and he got me on a golf cart, and he drove me straight to my car. And I got in the car and I sat there for a minute. I said, you know, I don't know that this is the good thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So anyway.
Rich. That's another safety team.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming by here and being a part of it. You want to hang on with us for a little while? You got something you got to do? Oh, you got to go back to work.
All right.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Fun?
I knew you sent me a message saying the guy told you could be here.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were. Well, Kurt, if he could be here,
Yeah, Kurt could be here, right?
just go tell your chief it's time you come to see me. But I understand there may be some reason why he does that. And Jake likes the notoriety, so we'll let him.
Because as soon as you had sent that message of asking if people were going to come out here, I was like, sure, I'll say yes, because I know I'm not going to be the only one you asked. And I didn't really have a choice.
Good luck
at
with
that
that.
point. She said you're going, so.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you a lot. You did. You guys do a great job.
We did.
Do a great
That's
job.
all of us. I appreciate it.
Even Kurt.
Thank you. man.
Even Kurt.
Appreciate
Even
it.
Kurt, even though he wouldn't come be with us.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some people went to their chief or whatever, whoever their boss is, and said, "Yeah, we're coming." And
Well, he listened to his boss. She said
Yeah.
you're going.
also, you may have called the boss and told him he was coming. So anyway, all right. Thank
Yeah,
you
they do like
again.
you
We
better.
appreciate it again. Thank
Thanks,
you so
man.
much.
No
I know
problem. No problem. Thank you.
his dad is a fireman EMT with Chesapeake.
Okay.
So
And volunteers and missions.
yeah, and volunteers and nuisance too. So he's very big on fire.
Gosh, good. Yeah, we had Chesapeake out there a couple times looking at the big metal things we take care of out there.
All right, let's get Jeremy on here and have a talk with him. See what's going on with Jeremy Gerstner.
What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, what's going on, Scott? What's going on, Jack?
We're doing good, man. Look, one of the reasons I wanted to get you on this show, how was racing down in North Wilkesboro? I mean, that had to be a blast.
Yeah, I've never been to that track. That was one of the tracks. As a kid, I went there one time to watch a race. I mean, many eons ago. Like probably in the 94, 95. I went and watched a race there, a cup race. And, I haven't seen or heard nothing from that track for all these years. And then when they said, yeah, we're going to have the modifiers there, I was like, oh, wow, what an opportunity. And, opening the track back up. I never dreamed that the track was in that rough a shape. I mean, I've seen pictures of when Earnhardt posted them and, about the grass growing through the cracks and all that kind of stuff when they're going to scan it to make it for iRacing. But, I mean, all in all, I say it was in rough shape. It was actually pretty smooth. It's just there was no grip at all.
Was it hard on the tires? I mean, even the characteristics of Wilkesboro, we ran there 92, 93, 94, I think, in the late models, and it was rough on tires.
Yeah, basically what the problem we had is we took the 20s and the 30s, which is like probably one of the softest tires that the tour type modifieds run.
Oh wow!
So I mean, for a while there, we were running the 30s and the 450s on the SMRS tour, and those were pretty beefy. But these 30s and 20s, like it's the same tire we run at the Speed Weeks during New Smyrna, and they'll go by the wayside at like 40 to 50 laps. So there, you probably had a good, I'd say 15 to 20 laps running them hard, and they'd be pretty much 80% junk. I mean, especially the right rear. I mean, the right front maybe could make it. Yeah, I would say the full 50 laps, no problem. Some guys, were smart and they came in and rotated. I wanted to do that on night 2, but my car owner didn't want to do it because he was afraid we'd lose the nose. But what was so weird about that track, and I still can't figure it out, is the car would turn in. It didn't matter if you had old tires or wore out tires, but initially the car would turn in and to the middle really good. It was just you were so bad loose off once the tires would wear out. So I think rotating them would have been the way to go. Looking back, I wish I would have did it now. I mean, but we didn't. But like the guys, like the old team I drove for the 15, he came in on like lap 22, rotated rights and drove from dead last all the way back up to second. Brian Laughlin. So I mean, that shows you that it worked. I mean, I'm sure you still had to have a good balanced car, but I mean, of course, night 1, Ryan Newman kind of hung out there in the top 4 or 5 the whole race, and when it was time to go, he just turned it on and went for it. So I mean, there's different strategies, but I mean that track is definitely, I would say, is not like any other track. Everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be like Florence or it's gonna be like Southern National. It was nothing like that. I mean, it was like when your tire gave out there, it was like you had a flat right rear.
Wow. Now, what was it like? I mean, it had to be, I guess, one of those things where you were awestruck maybe with how many people showed up for those races. I mean, that was unbelievable. I saw that was huge crowds, and I know that was a big deal.
Yeah, I never dreamed that we'd have a sellout crowd on night 1. I mean, I knew from the way the pits were packed and all the people that parked around the outside of the track. I knew it was going to be a good show for the whole group, that put it on, and so I was kind of happy about that. But I never dreamed it'd be a sellout crowd, and the pit party was awesome. I mean, met a lot of people that I knew from Bowman Gray, and a lot of people that I met from Carolinas. There was even some people there from Florida that I knew, which was kind of cool. One of my longtime sponsors, Kevin Dunn, was there from KD Construction. He brought his family up, which I know that was like a total surprise. Never even knew that. So that was kind of cool. But I mean, you're right. I mean, just to see the people that supported it, and, I never thought that. I mean, I thought it was going to be a good show, and they were, reviving it and bringing the track back. So, and we were the ones kicking it off, which, I kind of wish that we were the ones that were later. So there was more rubber down, but it was kind of cool to get the highlight reel of the modifieds being the opening night act, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, did you run both the crates and the other modified too?
Yeah. The tour modified, the first night we had a mechanical issue with the rear end, and we pulled in. But we fought that all day. We finally found it during the race. But yeah, then I drove the crate car for another gentleman, Roy Walker, out of he's from Carteret area. So basically, he asked me if I wanted to drive his car. He brought it over. I put my setup on it, and car was pretty fast right out of the box, like top 10, out of the 26 or whatever, 25 that were there. But unfortunately, we had a miscommunication between the guys that worked on the car and my guys that showed up just to help out work on it, and they thought it had 12 gallon of fuel, so we added 5 gallon, which would have made it 17 the first night. So I qualified 12th, and I drove up to 11th behind Bert. We were going to the front, just because I qualified tight, way too tight, because I was trying to keep the car good for be on the long run. I didn't know how to free that thing up with no horsepower. I was so used to the tour stuff. But so we were going good, and then the damn thing ran out of gas at lap 22. so that was definitely a disheartening deal for that night. But the second night we qualified 22nd and drove up to 10th with the tour car, and it was running great. And whatever issue that we fought with the rear end on Tuesday night kind of haunted us again. So the car, I'm not sure if it was a tube issue or the way the rear end was put. We're not 100%. That car runs on the stadium locally, at Bowman Gray every week. And the night before, it got put on top of the wall with Brian Laughlin driving it. And we went through the whole car, put nerf bars on it and fixed it all. But I think we missed something with the rear end or something out of alignment. When you're going 80 mile an hour, 90 mile an hour at Bowman Gray, it's one thing, but they'd be doing 130, 140 at North Wilkesboro. A quarter-inch off on a tube or something simple like that is huge. So that kind of bit us on night 2. But the good thing was we rebounded on the crate car. We qualified 12th and drove up to 6th, got a right rear flat, fixed it, went back out, and ended up finishing 8th with that car. So it wasn't a total sham for the week, but I mean, it definitely wasn't one of my better outings. But I mean, just the idea of being at a track that you always seen as a kid and dreaming about racing. And to know that this was your chance, even if they just do this revival thing and it never does, go any further, like once they do the dirt deal and they teal it up, if it never does come back paved, at least I got a chance to race on it before it totally got, kicked to the wayside.
Now, where did you get your setup from? I mean, did you just say, hey, let's try this? Or how did you come up with a setup?
Actually, Scott, funny you asked that. Well, when Roy brought the car over, we tested the car for at Caraway. Well, I told myself Caraway's got definitely more grip, level, but let's get the car turning good at Caraway, and I know to turn good at North Wilkesboro. So the baseline was basically the Caraway setup, and then of course we added a little bit more bite to it and a little bit softer springs to keep the car from chewing the right rear tire up. Mm-hmm. I mean, but basically it wasn't nothing more than I would say like a mixture between Florence and Caraway. Setup. I mean, of course, the gear was way different, but I mean, and it's funny that you asked that. We only turned the tour car like 74, 7,500. We didn't even turn it hard because, we're worried about, buzzing the right rear off with that built motor.
Well, now tell me something. We're supposed to have had Paulie Hartwig on tonight too, and I haven't heard from him. But anyway, tell me about this kid. This kid must be something spectacular.
I watched him at Caraway. I mean, right out of the box. I mean, I remember when a kid first came down with the older car they had, that was Paul's car that he ran at like Evergreen or wherever that track is up north. I mean, he come down with the carpool cars, for the North-South Shootout a couple of years ago. And I think it was like actually last year. Yeah, it was last year. And the kid right out of the box was top 5, car. He had good car control, and some kids just got it. I mean, and I really do think this kid's got it. I mean, don't get me wrong. They had, Paulie was in probably some of the best equipment there. I mean, him and the 23 had the state-of-the-art equipment, him and Carson Laughlin. I mean, they both had the best chassis. I mean, Carson had a new Troyer. Paulie had a new PSR. Both had top-of-the-line motors. I mean, Paulie had a Morgantini, and Carson had, a really good Tony's Custom Racing. I mean, so, they were probably some of the best crates and some of the best cars I've seen in a long time. I mean, hell, you could probably change the motor and go tour racing with both those cars. But I mean, the thing is that's great. I mean, and believe me, my son, I plan on doing the same thing. So I mean, out of respect for both being great dads, giving their kids the best equipment to learn in and be, in the sport. I mean, that's the way to do it. If you can afford it. And and I'm not gonna lie to you, Paul's like me. He's a hustler. He's out cutting 70, 80 lawns a week like me. So to dedicate all his money to that car, and like you said, the second car he brought was just mainly a backup car, which it probably didn't have as good a motor or as good a car, but Paul was just there to have fun with his son and race with them and put a good show on. I mean, and what a great turnout for Keith. Like we had 25 or 26 crate cars, but yeah, I honestly, to see Paulie up there racing with some of the best. I mean, he was battling. Let's not take anything from Max, he was right there racing hard with them the whole night. He's no slouch. I mean, he's anything from dirt cars, the tour cars, the late models. I mean, he can wheel it with the best of them in that 9 car. I mean, he was side by side with Carson and side by side with Paulie. They put a hell of a show on. I was really impressed.
Yeah, he impressed me, and I'm hoping I'll get him on the show within next week or so. I don't know what happened this week, but that's really, it's hard to see an 11-year-old kid go to North Wilkesboro, probably never seen the place, and goes out there and runs as good as he did. That's a surefire talent there.
Exactly. Yep. No, 100% for sure. I mean, I think, to make that one of his biggest debuts, to go to like a track like Wilkesboro. I mean, even look at, you can't give you got to give Jimmy Blewett's son credit too, James. I mean, he showed up there for his first race ever in a crate car. I mean, yeah, they've been doing some testing and stuff, but I mean, that just shows you what great talent we got coming up with these young kids. I mean, if for Paulie to go out there and win both of them, I mean, and after the first night, they tore his motor down. They checked it all out from what I understood. I mean, I never really stuck around. I was kind of exhausted from the heat. I'm sure, if you heard, I mean, of course, the heat was extreme there that day. I'm not sure if Scott out or, I think Jack made it out, right, Jack? You were there, weren't you? I'm not sure.
No.
No, I wasn't there. No.
Are you weren't there? I thought I had seen you nosing around there one time, but maybe I didn't.
I wasn't there.
But yeah, the heat was extreme. I mean, like all day. It was like being at Bristol in August. I mean, there was no air moving. It was felt like 110 degrees. And I'm used to the heat here in Florida. So for me to say it was hot, it was definitely hot.
Yeah, it had to be hot then.
Yeah, I mean, in North Wilkesboro is a place. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, if you've never been there, it's like you go down this little 2-lane road, and there's I don't know if the old country store is still there on the corner.
Yep.
And you turn right, and you go up, and it's like a neighborhood. It's not even, it's a country road. It's a house here and a house there. And the next thing you know, you pull up to the back of the racetrack,
Yeah, you're blocking all these people's houses and waiting in line thinking, man, if they got to go somewhere, they can't even go to the store right now because you got the whole – But no, you're right. And then you also you got this huge racetrack in the middle of nothing. I mean, it's a big parking area. But I mean, they did a really good job. I mean, I've seen pictures of it from friends over the years, racing up there for the past 10 years. And I've seen pictures people posted of weeds taller than the wall and the outside looks like shambles. And there's an older guy that used to maintain the property. I mean, he would give tours and the buildings were falling down everywhere. So to show up there and see that they actually had concessions somewhat open and working and the elevator working to be able to ride up to be in Victory Lane. I mean, it was just really, and it was kind of cool too, because they never really painted over any of the old paintings and stuff. I mean, of course they had to cover up the Winston stuff and like that just for the I guess for the rights for TV and stuff. But I mean, other than that, I mean, everything else was pretty much like it was 30 years ago. Pretty cool.
Yeah, even the paint schemes were the same and everything too.
Yep.
All right, Jeremy, what you got going on for the rest of the year? I know you're going to be here for the Palooza race. I'm sure of that.
Yep. I mean, that's the goal. We're going to be there for that one. I wanted to try to do Langley with Brad Adams as a 2-car team with the NASCAR deal, but we're in the process right now of buying some property in Statesville, North Carolina, and it might kind of drain my funds for doing that because I'm not gonna not run Martinsville. I got a little bit of redemption from last year because I was started 27th after breaking the clutch in practice and getting no practice. We drove up to 12th and then we shattered the center of that clutch out too because we had the wrong throwout bearing. So we found out that later at Speed Weeks. So now I want to kind of go back to Martinsville and redeem myself. So with that being said, I'm not going to miss that race. So to be able to afford to do Martinsville, I might have to miss Langley race, which I'm hating to even say that, but we're still looking for sponsors to see if we can't put it together. Maybe if nothing else, maybe I'll crew chief and have Brad drive the 55 car and just bring one because that's what sucks right now. People don't realize the fuel for me to go from Florida up there and back is almost $2,000. I mean, with my dually. I mean, that's, everybody's like, how do you do it in North Carolina every week? Well, right now I'm teamed up with that, like I said, with Tim Brown. So I basically just buzz back and forth with my wife's Honda Pilot, my RV and my trailer's up there with the car, and he does all the maintenance on it for me every week. So it's worked out great. And, and then this past weekend was with the Hillbillies, driving the 79 team for David Hill. So that, all I basically do is show up and drive and, help him out on the car a little bit. But I mean, that's my biggest problem right now is logistics. I mean, if once I get moved to North Carolina, even like Langley isn't, near as far as, 9, maybe, 8 hours or whatever. And probably not even that, probably like maybe 4 hours. Yeah, 4
you
hours.
can make it from Statesville to Langley in about 4.5, 5 hours. So.
That's what I'm saying. Where now, I'm looking at, it seems like a whole day drive.
Yeah, one way, right?
Yeah, one way. And
you're going to build a shop and everything in Statesville?
Yeah, what we're going to do is, I got a plan, Jack, is to build a 6,000 square foot barn-dominium. I'm buying some farmland, so, some acreage. And we're going to build the barn-dominium, put the cars up in there, get all my stuff relocated. And then once I sell this property here in Florida for a good chunk, I'll be able to pretty much be set. I mean, everybody's like, what are you going to do for work? Well, I'm going to be 50 this year. So do I still want to continue to cut 90 lawns? Hell no. So my goal is to get up there and, I never really put no money away, because I'm a typical racer. So the money I sell my property for is going to be kind of like my retirement fund. and then I might go to work for a small team, just working 2 or 3 days a week, and and still enjoy life with my family. You know what I mean? And still race. So we'll see how it works out. But I mean, but basically, what you're asking me, what my plans are, is I'm going to run the Smart Tour after Bowman Gray. We got 2 more weeks of Bowman Gray. We're sitting 8th in points. It looks like that's pretty much where we're going to end up. And unless I might gain 1 or 2 spots, but I mean, with the couple of wrecks I got earlier in the season, it's just so hard to make points up there. The way the point structure is, it goes 50, 48, 44. It's 2 points per position, so it's like you got to be really consistent. Consistently good, not have a 1 or 2. You might be able to get 1 bad night, but two or 3 bad nights, and you're out of the championship hunt. So, I mean, we're gonna finish that deal out with 2 more weeks, and then we're gonna run the Smart Tour at Carteret, and then we got Motor Mile, Dominion, Tri-County, and Orange County. 5 good tracks that I really love. Hopefully, we can get back up there and get in that chase, because you got to be in the top 3 going into the last race to be able to go for a championship. And we're sitting right now, I think 9th or 10th. But not that many points out of it. And if you win a race, it's a 10-point bonus. So if I can go click off a couple of those as wins, we'll be right there in the top 3, and we can go for a championship. And then my only other race after that there's actually 2 of them, would be the Sean Beluzio race, and then that Martinsville race. At the end of October. So we'll see how that pans out, and hopefully we can rebound this year and do really good at the Beluzio race. I mean, it seems like last year my car came on strong at the end, and then the transmission broke. So it's just I'm gonna try to get the car up there actually a couple weeks before the race, and have Brad and a couple people practice it. And who knows, maybe I'll get Mark Wirtz or something to take it out there and run it for me a couple times and see if he can get it ironed out before the race kicks off.
Hey, look, Anthony Goodyear said tell you hi, and he said he'll give you a job anytime.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's over there by Carteret, so that's still a little bit of a cruise for me. But no, he's a good guy. He's actually helped me out a little bit this year at the stadium with some tires, and always been a great friend. And I went in to race this track, race the truck series there. What a fun track! I hope we can get a Smart Tour race there, and we can hope we can get a couple of those crate races there too this coming year, and I can get up there and run a couple times. I mean, it'd be a blast to have a tour mod on that track. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a great track. It would be good for the modifieds, I think. That'd be fun.
Definitely. Heck yeah.
All right, Jeremy, I appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you for updating us on North Wilkesboro. And hey, we'll see you when you come to the Beluzio race if we don't see you before.
Definitely. And I was going to tell you real quick, if they do get that revival deal going, and they do get that Wilkesboro track repaved, oh my gosh, the modifieds would be screaming around there. I mean, they're definitely going to need safer barriers for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Scott said he's raced there before. I mean, even with the late model, I'm sure it was a blast too. I mean, I couldn't imagine if they repaved it. I mean, because you carry so much corner speed getting in, but with the track the way it is now, I just felt like it was a big, like Orange County, like I was drifting at all times. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, to me, I couldn't imagine if we do get that thing paved. Oh, that would be an awesome place to have like a weekly show. Like a Saturday night race type deal every week. That'd be awesome.
That would be good. That'd be a great way to bring it back.
Definitely.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Talk to you
Yep.
again. We'll see you Beluzio weekend, and I'll talk to you again then.
Awesome. Well, yeah, if we do something at Langley, I'll get Brad and me on there too. We'll talk about that if I get it put together. But yeah, thanks for having me, Scott, and Jack. Keep in touch. Appreciate it.
We'll do, man. We'll do. We'll
Hey,
talk to you
Jeremy.
later.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, see you both. Bye.
Yeah. Wilkesboro is definitely it's a neat place. I didn't think about it. It is a bit kind of, I mean, you could say kind of like Orange County or almost like Richmond, but just rougher. I don't know. It's just different. And then it's on the side of a hill. So when you go down the front stretch, you're going downhill. I don't know if you notice that in the car or not.
I didn't even think about that one.
And then you go down through the 1 and 2, and you go uphill, but the back stretch is sort of, I mean, it's almost like Langley in a way, really, because the except just a bigger size. The front stretch is a little bit dog-legged, and the back stretch is more straight.
I haven't been there in a long time, but anyway. All right, that's our show for tonight. I don't know why Paulie, we didn't hear get old. I'm gonna check with him.
He'd probably
again.
be asleep. It might be.
Well, 11 years
Yes,
old. He
I
may
mean,
have to go to bed early. I don't know.
Yeah,
But anyway, I'll check with him
Could you
again.
imagine 11 years old?
Winning 2 races, 2 crate races, and he beat some of the. I mean, Gerstner.
I don't care if he does have the best stuff. Still, 11-year-old kid with veterans behind him, and you still got to have the wheel and have the feeling and not wreck the car
That's
or tear
right.
the car up. I mean that says a lot.
So, good kid. So that's gotta be huge.
And I can't imagine this can't winning these races at North Wilkesboro can't not like somebody in the upper series thinking about, man, this kid here, we got to
Keep an eye on
look
him.
at him.
Yeah. All right, next week, Amanda Patno from Papa John's Pizza.
Oh, she finally coming, huh?
She's finally going to be here next week.
We'll get her pizzas next week.
And Jesse Jones is going to be here next week. Talk about
Oh,
the
Lord.
mini stock race they were
So we're having Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Beauty and the Beast. And we're going to have one of the Wacky Wednesday drivers here, and one other person that hasn't gave me an answer yet whether he's coming or not. So anyway, that's our show for this week. What's up?
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.